about how to get secure bathrooms and a warm shelter for those in need at Delaney Hall. She did that. During the course of this campaign, Ana Lilia and I have seen the consequences of Trump's America. We've seen skyrocketing housing. Just down the street from us, we've seen families afraid to go to food pantries and afraid to go outside. It's ridiculous. But we must fight back. And I'll tell you, she is relentless. Believe me, relentless. You know. But I do want to say that there's one thing to remember about her, is that she is uniquely qualified to represent us in this moment. This is a woman who's advised city council members up to presidents and everyone in between. A woman who can write legislation as well as write speeches and deliver them. No pressure. A woman who connects to the core of people because she has not forgotten where she's come from, Elizabeth, New Jersey. And more importantly, she has a clarity of purpose for where all of us are going. Please join me in welcoming my beautiful, brilliant, talented, fearless, unbought and unbossed wife, Ana Lilia Mejia.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ho.
That usually I only heard my name yelled when I was in trouble. Good evening, y'all. Thank you so much. This is fire. Y'all, good evening, Jersey. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Langston. Thank you, August. Thank you all. First of all, I'm excited. And I can't believe I'm on this other side of that line. I want to start by shouting out my union family, my movement family, my troublemakers, my good trouble stirring makers. SEIU 32BJ, CIR 1199, Make the Road, CWA, so many locals, I can't even count them. AUP, AFT. I mean, I could go on and on. I want to thank every single person who has stood up and said, you know what, the same old blue ain't gonna do. In a moment where everything is on fire, you're crazy. As you've heard, my name's Ana Lilia Mejia, and I am an organizer. I'm a mom. I'm a daughter of immigrants. Some would say I'm a little bit of a brawler. They'd be right. And I'm a candidate to represent you in New Jersey's 11th Congressional District. Now, y'all, I grew up watching my mother and my father, immigrants who fled political and economic violence. I watched them work multiple jobs, and we still didn't have enough to eat sometimes. I want you to imagine my mother, pregnant with me, my sister a year old, and my father falls down a flight of steps at work and breaks his back. And my mother found herself in a situation with no safety net, no support, and she lost the privilege of motherhood. In fact, my sister and I spent our early years in Venezuela, living with our grandmother, because my mother couldn't afford to keep her babies with her. That pain, I imagine the pain that my mother must have felt, being ripped away from her children. I can't fathom the pain, the sorrow, the destruction that poverty not only caused my mother, but so many Americans who, despite their best efforts, find themselves sliding back and not able to make ends meet. And despite what people think, despite what it looks like, even in a place like New Jersey's 11th Congressional District, where people stretch to buy a home with the aspiration that they want access to public transportation, green spaces, but don't let them lose a client or a job, because they will spin just like everyone else. I know that my mother is not the only person in America that went through that struggle. I could also attest that through hard work and really good policy, I was able to find myself in a different reality. I went from food insecurity and having to go to the free health clinic to living in a town that has gas lamps. Trips me out. But I'll tell you, when I speak to my neighbors and I ask them how they are navigating in this moment, I hear the same thing that I heard from my parents. This world doesn't feel built to represent, to allow us all to thrive. This world, our economy, our democracy seems captured by big money, by oligarchs, by people who care more about adding another zero to their offshore bank account or trading in stocks when they shouldn't be. Just saying. But we're all feeling the squeeze. We're all feeling the squeeze of the outsized power of big money in our economy, in our democracy, and I am here to say, oh no, eso para ahora. We stop it now. Now, y'all, I often say an authoritarian is quite simply a corrupt politician who gets a taste from stealing from you and wants to keep the grift going. And an oligarch is just a greedy boss that got a taste from stealing from you and their workers and also wants to be held with no accountability. But the thing that stands between them and their greed is us, is our democracy. No wonder they want to destroy it. No wonder they're fired up. No wonder they could shred the Constitution in pieces, because we stand between them and what they desire most, which is to destroy everything for their own greed. Are we going to let them do it? No. Hell no. Put a little Jersey in it. When those two forces join together, when the oligarch and the authoritarian join forces, it is super clear that they will trade every single thing, our Constitution, your rights, our freedom, all for their greed. We must stop them. We must stand up. We cannot allow it to continue. I don't know if you've heard, I'm running for office. And it's like jump ball. There's like, I don't know, a baker's dozen. But here's the truth. I'm the only candidate that could say on day one, I am not only ready to serve with all the skills that you want a representative to have. You want someone that could write a bill? I'm your gal. You want someone that understands how to break down information and engage people? I'm your gal. You want someone that has trained thousands of leaders across this country and is unafraid to say, oh, hell no, we are going to stand up, fight back, and defend our democracy? I'm your gal. Let's bring it. And while my opponents, I may be facing off, I'll admit, maybe I'm at 50 cents to their dollar. That machine has no heart. That machine has no love. That machine has no fire like I see in every single one of you. So they could do their thing. They could hand out tax breaks to billionaires and corporations while working people struggle to afford health care and child care. And they could do their thing while they get rich, like I said, trading stocks for companies they're supposed to be regulating. And then working people are finding themselves sinking into insecurity, dwindling nest eggs, bankrupt because of illness or even child care and college debt, while politicians even pick and choose whose freedom they're going to stand up for. And in this moment, I say, Phil, sign that bill. Today. Sign that bill. It is shameful, my people, that those with power sit on their hands while working people are out on the streets armed with whistles, demanding justice, braver than anything I ever see out of Congress. Y'all, Renee Good and Keith Porter and all the Americans and all the human beings who have suffered under this rising tyranny deserve justice. And I say, abolish ICE now. You can't reform that. It's not fixable. Get it out. Kick it over. It is done. Forget it. Abolish ICE. Y'all, all day. Y'all, in a moment of rising authoritarianism, of economic insecurity, of state-sanctioned violence, any old blue just won't do. If you send weak sauce to Congress, we will get weak sauce back. I refuse to comply with that madness. And I say, instead, send an organizer. Send someone who's going to be bolder and braver and looks great in red lipstick. Y'all, many of you will hear me say this over and over, but it is clear. I want you to remember, at the founding of our nation, we hardwired words of freedom. And we said all men are created equal, but we only meant one little group. And through struggle, through community, through organizing, we grabbed those words and we pulled them until they covered us all. But let me tell you, the status quo, the oligarchs and fascists and authoritarians of yesteryear, and don't forget, authoritarianism is not new in these United States, because what was Jim Crow? What was slavery? What was Reagan's war on drugs? All of that is the same that we face in this moment, y'all. Every time we pulled those words, the status quo, the oligarch, the fascist, the authoritarian always responds in the same way. They have a formula. They capture our Supreme Court. They change the laws to prevent us from participating. They traffic in state-sanctioned violence. Minnesota, January 6th, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Rosewood, New Orleans. It's all the same. It's all the same. Speaking that truth, on today, we have to remember speaking that truth is what cost Martin his life. And yet we persist. Why? Because this is our world. This is our nation. This is our democracy. And we have a responsibility to be more than the recipients of others' struggle. We have a responsibility and a duty to be good ancestors to 7 generations out. Are you ready for that responsibility? Will you take that responsibility? Are you down to be a good ancestor and protect all we hold dear? So again, I'll land this plane because here's the bottom line. Send an organizer to Congress. Send an organizer who knows how to connect with people. Send an organizer who understands that proximity to power is not power. Power is the ability to not just make a decision, but power is being able to set the agenda, being able to set the discourse, to shape a narrative that helps you make that demand. So even before we have a majority, I could tell you that's what I'm going to be doing. Not only training, not only activating, but y'all, you won't be able to keep me out of everyone's way. Because those people who believe that they could buy an election, or they could lie to you, or they could lie to us, we won't let them. We refuse. So again, all I'll say is in this moment, what will happen in Jersey will spread everywhere. This is the first contest of 2026. Let's set the tone. Let's put some Jersey funk in it. Let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. And you know, that's right. That's right. My people, I may talk, I may sound, and I learned it from somebody. I start out with my mother and my father because, oh my goodness, my first teachers told me to always stand up, head high. But now I get to introduce someone who I have admired for so many years. I pinch myself. 12-year-old me, high fives, 48-year-old me. I am so proud to introduce a man who has given all of us so much hope, who has refused to just roll over to the madness, a man who has fought with decency, with integrity, with perseverance, the most brilliant politician I have ever met, and I have met a lot. Like a lot. It was an honor, and it is an honor now to introduce the incredible Senator Bernie Sanders.
Thank you, New Jersey. Thank you. What a fantastic turnout. And Anna Lily and I just had a few words to some 500 people outside. Another 100 people in a smaller auditorium. So thank you all very much for coming out. And let me thank Ana Lilia Mejia for her years of work in supporting the working class of this country. Ana Lilia was active in my presidential campaign. She is a great organizer. And in Washington right now, we don't just need Democrats, we need progressive Democrats who are prepared to stand up and fight. A few minutes ago, Ana Lilia said something which struck me because it is a very deep truth. We understand that we live in a nation today where never before have so few had so much, while so many people are struggling, while 60% of our people are living paycheck to paycheck. And I'm going to get into that stuff in a minute. But the more important point is not just that the big money and the billionaires own the economy, they do. It's not just that they buy and sell politicians in a corrupt political system, they do. It's not just that we have more concentration of ownership today, a handful of huge corporations controlling the economy, it's true. It's not just that they own the media, they do. But what's even worse than all of that is what they do is create a culture which says we, the oligarchs, the richest people in the world, we've got all of the power. We can do anything we want, and you are powerless. And what we are here tonight to tell them is go to hell. What we understand is that their game plan is not complicated. Demagogues have used it throughout history. They try to divide up the people. You're black, and you're white, and you're Latino, and you're Asian, and you're gay, and you're straight, and you're this, and you're that. That's how they succeed. They divide us up. And we understand we're not going to fall for that crap anymore. And that when we stand together, not only will we defeat Trumpism, we're going to create the kind of nation and government that the American people deserve. I have had the honor of traveling all across this country. I've been to every state in America, and in the last year, I have been, including New Jersey tonight, to 24 states on this Fighting Oligarchy tour. And we have spoken to over 300,000 Americans in blue states, in red states, and in purple states. And what I can tell you without any hesitation is the American people will not accept oligarchy, will not accept authoritarianism, will not accept masked ICE agents terrorizing communities. And will not accept an economy in which the rich get richer while 60% of our people live paycheck to paycheck. So let me just say a few words that you don't hear much on TV, and you're not going to hear from my colleagues in the U.S. Congress. Number one, you have more income and wealth inequality right now than has ever existed in the history of America. If you can believe it, the top 1% in American society now owns more wealth than the bottom 93%. Got that? One man, Mr. Musk, owns more wealth. This is really quite unbelievable. You don't hear it much talked about. One guy owns more wealth than the bottom 52% of American households. One guy. In America today, the CEOs of these large corporations make 350 times what their workers are earning. So you got a moment in history where the people on top, the multi-billionaire class, has never ever had it so good. And then you got not only income and wealth disparity, you got concentration of ownership. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And that is, you got a handful of giant corporations in every sector of our economy who control the prices that you pay, control what happens to workers. So more concentration of ownership than we have ever seen. Today you have more concentration of ownership in the media. And I want you to hear this. We don't talk about it too much. But 6 major media conglomerates own and control what 90% of the American people see, hear, and read. Mr. Musk, the wealthiest man on earth, owns X. Larry Ellison, the second wealthiest man on earth, just purchased Paramount, which owns CBS. Jeff Bezos, the fourth wealthiest person on earth, owns the Washington Post and Twitch. And Mark Zuckerberg, the second wealthiest man, owns Meta, which controls Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Rupert Murdoch, you all know Rupert Murdoch? He's another multi-billionaire, right-wing billionaire who owns Fox. He owns the Wall Street Journal, the New York Post, and publications all over the world. So these guys, more income and wealth inequality, more concentration of ownership, and control over the media, what you see, hear, and read. But that ain't enough for them. They don't only want to control the economy, they also want to control our political system. So as a result of this disastrous Citizens United Supreme Court decision, you have billionaires, frankly, in both parties, spending hundreds and hundreds of millions and billions of dollars to elect their candidates. Elon Musk himself spent $270 million to elect Trump. And now he is prepared to buy this midterm election. Just today it was announced he took out his checkbook, and for him it was a cup of coffee for you, brought out a $10 million check to elect a senator from Kentucky. So that is what's going on. People on top, unlimited wealth, unlimited power, and they want more and more. That's one reality. And then there is another reality that we don't talk about very much, and I know it's something that Anna Lilia understands because she grew up in a working class family. I understand. I grew up in a working class family, and I suspect most of you understand. And that is today, 60% of our people are living paycheck to paycheck. You all know what that means? It means you work hard, and at the end of the week, you got nothing left over. It means that you stay up nights, if you're a mom, worrying how you're going to pay the rent, so you don't get evicted when the landlord just raised the rents by 20%. You worry about what happens when your car breaks down if you can't get to work. And if you can't get to work, you don't have any income. If you don't have any income, your family is going to be in severe crisis. You worry about what happens when your mom gets sick and can't afford the prescription drugs she needs. You worry about how you're going to pay for child care when you need that child care in order to get to work. You worry if you're 50 or 55, what happens when you're no longer working, when you got nothing in the bank and you are facing retirement. That's right. And what all of that is about is that the working class of this country today is living under incredible stress. And do you know what stress does to you? It kills you. Now, it is bad enough that in the richest country on earth, our life expectancy, how long we live, is 4 years lower than most other wealthy nations. That's pretty bad. But you know what is even more obscene? And that is that working class people die 7 years earlier than wealthy people. It is. In other words, economic stress, being poor, being in the working class, in many ways is a life sentence. All right? It's a death sentence, I should say. I remember a couple of years ago, I did a hearing in D.C. We had a number of doctors there, and they talked about the physiology of poverty. You know what that means? Yes. What does that mean? Tell me what it means. What? Right. What effect? What impact does stress have on your body? Right. Impacts your heart, it impacts your mental health, your heart, and that is why when people are living in stressful situations, when they're struggling every day, they wake up, how am I going to get through this week? What happens if the landlord raises the rent, the car breaks down? All of that stress eats you up, and you get hurt, your body gives up, your mind gives up, etc. So that's what you got. You got 60% of our people struggling every day to put food on the table and to take care of their families. You are living in the wealthiest nation in the history of the world, and yet you're living in the only major country on earth that does not guarantee health care to every man, woman, and child as a human right. Everybody. I've been all over this country, and you talk to conservatives, progressives, independents. Everybody knows that despite spending twice as much per person on health care as the people of any other nation, you know what we spend per person on health care? Anyone know? $15,000 per person. You combine everything, Medicare, Medicaid, what your employer pays, what you pay out of pocket, VA, add it all together, $15,000 per person. You would think that we'd have the best healthcare system in the world, right? Well, we don't. We got 85 million people uninsured or underinsured. We got 60,000 people a year dying unnecessarily because they can't get to a doctor on time. We don't have enough doctors. We don't have enough nurses. We don't have enough dentists. We don't have enough mental health practitioners. In the wealthiest nation on earth. So tonight we say very loudly and clearly that, of course, we're going to work overtime to stop Trump's effort to throw 15 million people off of Medicaid. Yup. Yes, we're going to end this obscenity in which people in the Affordable Care Act are seeing a doubling or in some cases a tripling of their health care premiums. We're going to work to stop that. But, brothers and sisters, we have got to do more than that. We have got to pass a Medicare for all single-payer program. It's not burning. And again, some of our opponents will, well, this is a far-left idea. Sure. And I live 50 miles away from the Canadian border, and for decades they've had a system where if you end up in the hospital there for a month, you get a heart transplant, some serious medical procedure, you know what the bill is when you come out? Zero. You got it. And they end up spending about half as much per capita on health care as we do. Now, why is that? Because they and every other country on earth, all with different systems, understand that the function of a rational health care system is not to make the insurance companies and the drug companies incredibly rich. It's to guarantee health care to all people. We live in a very competitive global economy. And if this country is going to succeed, it's not just that we have more nuclear weapons than other countries. It's that we have the best educated workforce on earth. There was once a time when the United States led the world in the percentage of our people who had college degrees. Once a time when we had the strongest public school system in the world. Once a time when we had strong child care. And believe it or not, once a time where young people went to outstanding colleges that were tuition free. Do you all know that? And our job is to make it clear that just like health care, education from child care to graduate school to trade school is a human right. I want our kids to have the best education in the world. I want them to be intellectually challenged. I want the best and the brightest, including many in this room, to become teachers because we desperately need good teachers. And we've got to recognize the importance of educators and pay them the salaries that they are deserving? In New York City right now, my friend, the new mayor, Zohran Mamdani, is moving to make child care universal and free. And that is what we should do in New Jersey, Vermont, and in every other state in this country. Today in America, we have a massive housing crisis. Today, 20 million households, if you can believe this, are spending 50% or more of their limited incomes on housing. Does that ring a bell? You know, I grew up in a rent-controlled apartment in Brooklyn, New York. Well, and, you know, our family never had any money, but I did some calculations, you know, did some memories of what my dad made. And it turns out that back in the day, we were able to survive as a family. Not with any money, but we made it. We paid 18% of my dad's income for housing. 18%. You know anybody in this world who's paid 18%? All right. And one of the reasons that the working class is struggling today is A, wages have not kept up with inflation, right? Cost of health care soaring, housing soaring, education costs soaring, food soaring. So to the young people who are here, let me tell you something. Believe it or not, there was once a time in our lifetimes where one person in a family, working class family, could work 40 hours a week and pay the bills. And I say all of those things to say that over the years, as you all know, and experience every day, we have seen over the last many decades an explosion in technology, right? We got a situation today where virtually every worker in America is far more productive than people who were doing similar type work 50 years ago. Now you would think, common sense would suggest that I am a worker and I'm producing more, I'm going to be earning more, right? Wrong. Over the last 50 years, we have seen two realities. Number one, real inflation accounted for wages for the average American worker have actually gone down. And during that 50-year period, there has been a massive $80 trillion transfer of wealth from the bottom 90% to the top 1%. So what we have got to do, in my view, is instead of spending $1 trillion a year on the military, instead of spending tens of billions of dollars on ICE, we got to start building low-income and affordable housing. All right, let me tell you, the political struggle that's going on right now, as I see it, is twofold. Number one, it goes without saying, we've got to do everything that we can to defeat Trumpism. In all of its ugly manifestations. And number two, what we've got to do is not only defeat Republicans, it's not good enough to elect establishment Democrats. Trump, in my view, Trump gets the support of many working class people, not because they want to see the billionaire class get $1 trillion in tax breaks, not because they want to see 15 million people thrown off of Medicaid. He gets the support of working people because the Democrats have not provided the kind of alternative that the American people want. The American people today want a party that has the guts to stand up to the oligarchs and fight for the working class. They understand that when the richest people in this country have never ever had it so good, the time is long overdue for the billionaires to start paying their fair share of taxes. You know, some of you may have read that in California, some of our union friends are fighting for a billionaire tax in California. And the billionaires in California, at least some of them, not all of them, these guys who have so much money they couldn't spend it in 100 lifetimes, some of them are saying, how dare you ask me to pay my fair share of taxes? We're going to leave California. So I got some bad news for those guys. Because we're going to introduce a national tax on wealth. And maybe some of them will want to leave the United States and go to their friends in Saudi Arabia. That's fine. But the time is long overdue to end a tax system where working people, nurses, truck drivers, pay a higher effective tax rate than many billionaires. That is insane. I want to say a word about an issue that I have become increasingly concerned about on top of everything else that we are dealing with here, and that is artificial intelligence and robotics. Now, the first point to understand is, can AI and robotics do some good things? The answer is yes. AI can make medical diagnoses, help us develop new prescription drugs, et cetera, et cetera. So there's some good things there, but I want you all to appreciate a couple of realities. Number one, the people who are investing hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars in AI and robotics are, in fact, the wealthiest people on Earth. I'm talking about people like Musk, Ellison, Bezos, Altman, Thiel. So I have my doubts that they have the best interest of the working class in mind. So first point, these guys with incredible wealth and power are transforming every day our society. And what does it mean for working people? Well, let me tell you, not my view. This is what Elon Musk, hundreds of billions of dollars, head of Tesla, his plan is to build millions of robots. Okay? And what Musk says, and I quote, AI and robots will replace all jobs, end quote. Sam Altman, another major investor, quote, entire classes of jobs will go away. Jensen Huang, another major investor, quote, you are going to lose your job to somebody who uses AI, end quote. Now, nobody knows what's going to happen. But the best economists out there tell us is that many, many millions of jobs are going to be lost. That's issue number one. Are we prepared for that in any way, shape, or form? No. Now, one of the things, what our fight has got to be, is to say, okay, if AI and robotics are positive, that's great. But they must work for working people, not just for the billionaire class. So what does that mean? It means that a couple of years ago when the UAW, United Automobile Workers, were negotiating a contract, they said, we want a 32-hour work week. Got it? So if you are looking at huge increases in worker productivity, what we should be demanding is a much shorter work week with no loss of pay. And the other thing we have got to worry about is the impact of AI on the mental health of this country, and I'm not joking about that. And I want you to think about this. You got young people right now who are spending a whole lot of their time getting their emotional support from characters on AI who are not human beings. Somebody in Washington, one in the Trump administration, was boasting how in Alabama, where they have very poor rural health, they're now using robots to work with pregnant women. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I kind of think that at the end of the day, I'd rather have a human being at my side rather than a robot. So brothers and sisters, bottom line is you are living in the wealthiest country in the history of the world. But ordinary people in no way are seeing that wealth. It's going, virtually all of it, to the people on top. So we have got a lot of work on top of us. But as Anna Lilia was saying earlier, this is a very, very difficult moment in American history. You all know that, and I would not tell you otherwise. But I want you to think back. Think back to the days in the 1770s when very brave people took on the largest military, the most powerful guy in the world, the King of England, and they defeated him. Think about the 1860s when people all over this country stood up and said, no more slavery in America. And hundreds of thousands died to end that abomination. And think about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who we honor today. Who put his life on the line to stand up for racial and economic justice. And think back to the year 1941, when the United States was attacked, and we had to stand alone, virtually taking on Nazism and fascism, and we did. So, today, we have an increasingly unpopular, out-of-touch, narcissistic, mentally unstable president. Can you believe that somebody is making foreign policy decisions? He wants to take Greenland because he didn't get a prize. I mean, this is like a spoiled 3-year-old. All right? That is not how you make foreign policy. And by the way, America must not become the major imperialist force on earth. So I think you got a president who is increasingly unpopular, and there are more and more Republicans who do not want to go down with a sinking ship. So our job now is to organize and to win this 2026 election. Our job is to support our brothers and sisters in Minneapolis and every other city in America that is occupied. Our job is to make it loud and clear that we believe in democracy, not authoritarianism. And that when we stand together, not only can we defeat Trumpism, that's enormously important, but we have got to do more than that. We have got to finally create the economy in this country that works for working people, not just the billionaire class. So, brothers and sisters, we can do it. They got the wealth, the oligarchs and Trump and his friends, unlimited wealth. They got a huge amount of power. They control the media. They control the economy. But you know what we got? We got the people. And at the end of the day, when people stand together, nothing is going to stop us. Thank you very much.